All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly webinar series. This is the 4th of August. My name's Thomas Atkinson. As always, I'm joined by Tyron Abella. Ty, big week, big consequences, I think, coming up soon in the markets and hopefully some increased volatility. How you going, man?
The volatility's starting to look good. Welcome, everyone. Looking forward to tonight. I reckon things are starting to set up pretty well, actually. I reckon there's a couple of little cheeky scalps we're going to talk about. And looking forward to it. I reckon some of the moves are coming. Don't worry about that. August is the month of movement and cannot wait. So let's jump in.
Just a quick risk warning before we get started. It's important to understand that any of the information contained in today's live stream is purely for educational purposes, and the information presented must be considered only general in nature. The information provided will not take into account your specific needs or circumstances, and of course, you may want to consult a financial advisor or independent financial advice if necessary before making any decisions. So Ty, as we like to do, let's get into the live market. Let's discuss, of course, what's going on in the current markets. As per usual, we'll start off in the currency world, then we'll move into the commodities world, and then we'll move into the stock indices and some of the discussions. We've got a great question coming through as well from one of the private community members, Ty. They've asked us an analysis help question, and I thought, well, why don't I answer this one with you live here during the session? So we'll be doing that a little bit later. There's a lot to unpack in that discussion, and I think a lot to really discuss that will help traders out there, help investors understand market momentum, market moves, and more importantly, the nasty Wall Street stop hunts, Ty. Nasty Wall Street. All right, let's have a look at this dollar index. So daily, firstly, 50 exponential moving average. It actually looks like it kind of wants to do... Oh, I might have to reset this Epic Pen 1 second. It looks like it wants to reject here, Ty, but we haven't seen enough yet. You talk us through those levels while I just quickly fix this.
Yeah, it hasn't done. Yeah, it does want to reject this level. I'm not convinced. I don't know. I reckon it could... I could see it testing the 91.80 really, really easily. I think that I don't know. I'm not convinced it's going anywhere just yet. I reckon it's probably got a little bit more weakness in it, actually. Down to probably that level there where you're at. That doesn't look like a lot, but that's enough to affect the euro and the pound and even the Aussie to an extent, enough to get you a scalp. And I think that's what you've got to probably consider. That we're not expecting big moves just yet. I mean, you'll know when the big moves happen because the thing will blast out of the stratosphere. But in the meantime, we can play the game of, stay in that zone. And while it stays in that zone, if it sells down to the, say, 91.80 area, that yellow line, or even just slightly lower, you're going to see enough moves to get you out of a scalp into, some of the US dollar-based majors. So definitely one to watch. I'm not convinced it's going long from here.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Well, the seasonal play at this time of year, Ty, is traditionally, and obviously, seasonal schmeasonal, I guess, at the moment after a pandemic and a recession. But generally speaking, it should be weak dollar in the months of the next month to 2 months. We usually see a weakness in the US dollar. At this stage, it looks like two bullish kind of rejections. But as you said, we're range bound. And when we're range bound, we know we're getting ready for some excitement. Think about it this way. The VIX has been testing 20, coming back down, testing 20, coming back down. While this is the volatility index across the markets, what it's telling me and Tyrone here is that the market is in a historically highly volatile period. It's showing volatility. The market's taking little dives, and I've noticed that a lot of retail traders are thinking they're the worst things ever. And Ty, yesterday the market, and we'll look at it later, the market only moved matter of 0.6%, yet everyone's very scared by that number. It's amazing, yet then it turns around and everyone's very excited. It's amazing how this happens time and time again. A big day on the Nasdaq is 3.5% down. That's a big day. A standard normal one is like a 1.5%, 2%. We're becoming conditioned to buy the dip and conditioned to low volatility.
I think everyone needs to settle the hell down. Getting all excited over a little move. Tell me, guys, I'm just getting a couple of messages saying that the audio is cutting in and out. Is it just my voice or is it Thomas's voice as well, guys? Is the audio all right? Can you hear us both okay?
Ty should be well and clear. I mean, I've got him good on my side and I'm passing it through, so it should be fine.
Yeah, okay, because 3 or 4 of them said my audio. I don't even know what audio clipping is. But
you're cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's technically what should be that should mean, but we'll see. Look, there's no fixing it, man. You set up perfectly on my end, so just tie. I'm just thinking if I can even fix it.
I'm just coming.
Don't be
I'm
trolling
coming
us, guys. Don't be trolling us. Tie's breaking up. He sounds louder.
Really?
Yeah, I can
You
turn.
sound louder on the volume.
No, that's
I can turn my volume down a little bit.
I already got you sorted. Okay, all good. All right, let's keep going. See how that works out. Maybe Discord is not the best for doing these audio plays. Should be though. Should be fine. All right, let's keep moving through. So we've got dollar index firstly and a stuck through like kind of in the middle of nowhere zone. Let's have a look now at some of the favorite currency pairs to go with that. One of them is of course the euro US dollar. Now last week we talked about how we were certainly not convinced that this thing was going any lower. It was showing a bunch of signs that were kind of saying, you know, you've got to look at this a little bit more closely. Has it gone down a little bit too quickly? Is there some reversal coming through? And that did occur, Ty. This is the 8-hour chart. Let's actually put it in a weekly perspective now because we need to look at the top-down approach here. It's come back. It's come back to the perfect zone. It's reversed from that zone a few times on the weekly because this is where we would have expected take profits to come through. What do you think about the euro here?
Yeah, I don't mind this one mainly because I think the dollar index has got a little bit more weakness. I reckon it's going to break that 50 and push up to sort of that 119, sort of 50 to one, maybe even 120. I could see this one moving up. In the first instance, up to 119 is probably a good trade. I mean, this is a pretty big chart. This is a weekly chart, of course, but I think it's just a little bit of strength. Can we go to just a smaller time frame on this one?
Yeah,
can we just go to
what time frame would you like?
Let's go to a 4-hour. So with this one, you can see here that it's on the last line of defense, 200 moving average, 50 moving average. You know, if it can reverse at this point here, this is a point of roll reversal. Don't worry about that. Like, look at the, you can look back a little bit further. You can see how many wicks there were. There was basically 4 or 5 wicks quite a while at the start of the screen. So if you go all the way back on this particular one right there. Yep, that was a bit further. Yep, there you go. Yeah, that's right at this level. You can see there's 5 wicks in a row there. So realistically, this is the point where it's going to pull up, if it is going to pull up. And yeah, you could see it maybe, tracking back up to that 20 moving average, probably on, this is the 4-hour, but I could see it getting to 119 pretty easily. I think it's got, 40 to 50 pips in it pretty easily, especially if that dollar index sort of sinks to those lows that we were talking about. And it's only 20 points. But you've definitely got a point here where you'd be looking. Now, I don't like trading against the trend. But if you go to a really small time frame, like a 15-minute, what you want to see is a lightning bolt on a 15-minute to do it, right? You don't just jump in. But a lightning bolt here, a new high above that 20, you close on a 15-minute above that 20 moving average. Then long to that 118.80 to 119 area, scalp, the absolute scalp. I'm not doing anything but
unusual scalp. Here we go.
We scalp at the moment. We're in scalping zone. Don't worry about that.
Yep.
Love the scalp. I don't know what's going on with the audio because it's definitely not. It's fine on my end. Maybe it's Discord cutting out. I don't know what it is. It's only me, Thomas. Apparently.
I couldn't tell you. You set up exactly the same as last week.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, guys. We'll just have to. We'll have to work on it. We'll see if we can get it fixed, but. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the euro anyway. Hopefully he got it.
Yeah, I'll move it over to... Well, see, I don't even have the cap here. All right, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I can't fix it. All right, no worries. It's we'll just have to keep going with that. So I like this trough peak, high trough, high peak kind of concept here, Ty. This is always one of the things we discuss. The great thing about this is it's at that key level. We've got the supports here. We've got the resistance. You've got the 20, as Tyrone mentioned. And what this means, think about it. If it does breach and close above here, what it's doing is taking out stop losses that are at a roll reversal. So, there's support, becomes resistance. If you get this lightning bolt, all of a sudden you're breaching through that. You're saying, no. You thought it was going weak. We reset the indicators and now we're going to go the other way. So it's a very strong type of level that you want to look at and a strong concept, I guess, in technical analysis trading. Let's move over here to the pound. Now, the pound has continued to be quite strong. We've got resistance breakouts. Then we've got, of course, support. A little bit of movement up here that's coming off that level. I guess the pound, it still looks pretty strong, Ty. I mean, it's come back down. It's testing this level. We'll take a look at Pound Odd and others soon. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I love it when Thomas gets caught out and he doesn't watch my Tuesday wrap videos. Because if he watched my Tuesday wrap video, he'd know what I think of the pound. Wouldn't he, Dave?
Tell me. Speak to me.
No. In fairness, I did only post it about an hour ago. I think it's good for a scalp. I think I do like this level. I think it's good for a scalp at the very least to the previous highs, just below the 140 there. I think it's got more in it though. Like I reckon if it gets above that 140. It could really run, but in the first instance, I reckon it's probably a 30 pip to 40 pip scalp from the areas that it's trading now. It's got support in a lot of areas. Actually, I went through about 3 different time frames and I found a lot of support, roll reversal. It's got a lot going for it.
So you would say to the room, go watch your Tuesday, Wednesday tip this week and find out more about the pound. Yeah,
I would be very disappointed if everybody in the room hasn't seen it already.
1 hour ago, come on, man. some people. Oh well. Anyway,
some people are just waking up. I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure there would be. Let's have a look here at the odd US dollar. So this one also another kind of converter. Wow, that actually looks sweet. Another one showing strength here, Ty, and. I look at this and I know that the trend's been down and we've been feeling all bearish on the odd, but for the first time I'm feeling a little bit bullish on the odd here when I look at this chart, Ty.
Yeah,
it doesn't need much extra.
No, it doesn't.
And it's kind of in line with your pound as well, because I mean the idea is strength here.
Funny thing about this, I did my, for those of you in Discord, you'd know this. I did my Tuesday wrap on the Aussie USD initially yesterday. And by the time the video rendered, the move had already kicked in and half of the profit was already gone. And it was on the way up, which was a bit unfortunate because it was a good trade and it worked out in about an hour. But unfortunately, it had already passed the entry point by the time the video rendered. So I agree. And I think it's kind of already had a good move. But I think... you could, you could make a case for it.
Oh yeah, I could.
The daily's got to close above the 20 to convince me that it's got a bit more in it. Agreed. But you can see, there's some good things happening there.
That's a good base formation. Dave mentions here talking taper, which taking away stimulus usually does create a little bit of growth here in the odd US dollar. I tell you what, this is for the first time looking bullish in quite a while. Let's have a quick look at pound odd because we've been following that one quite closely. And Ty, we basically, I hate this pound odd. This one is the bad one. Don't use that one. Use capital.com. There we go. The other one's so dodgy. So we talked about the excess last week, Ty. We talked about this level and look at that big rejection. This is it's amazing how things work out so well when you follow them technically. Big move. We were very bullish, as you know, pound odd here. Instantly to our profit. Don't be greedy. Don't be a greedy panda. And then now it's coming back down. And that's the thing, all of a sudden the odd's looking way better than it was a few weeks ago. And you can really see also a lot. Well, actually, there's a great learning experience here, Tyler. Check out this. So we have a daily rejection, no bull close that we talk about, gap up, sell off. There is imagine like if I'd seen a bullish close above this level, I would have actually been kind of long. It didn't happen. So again, great technicals hold up.
Yeah, but I think, we mentioned this last week in the webinar. It was probably never going to happen. This is an extraordinarily strong zone. So, yes, it can go longer from here, but it was never going to do that on the first move. Like, it would have taken some serious clout to get moving from there. But I think the biggest thing that stands out there, and, I'll probably get asked this question, and so does Thomas, probably, 10 times a week. But this is a bearish engulfing candle in the middle of nowhere. That is not a bearish engulfing candle in the middle of nowhere. That is a bearish engulfing candle at a very, very strong resistance point. That adds about 10 times of the power of a normal bearish engulfing candle. And far out. I know a lot of people shorted this because I got the messages that they were, they shorted the resistance, and that's awesome. So hopefully you saw that, because that is 2 rejecting candles like that is already giving you a sign. But if you didn't, once that bearish candle kicked in, you should have been short. Like that's that's an absolute mozza. Oh, I really like it. I like that trade when we were talking about it. And you know what? It's been, ever since we brought it up and started talking about it again, it gave us an awesome long. It's given us an awesome short. It's provided, yeah, look at that. Oh, look at the pullback. I mean, far out. Like yeah, it was a great trade.
Yeah, really good trade.
Yeah.
Great learning experience. And also the thing I like about this, Ty, is the patient beaver doesn't have to go through the pain. Because we always teach this in the course. Wait for the follow-through momentum. No momentum. Scary if you're in it still. And would have taken out a lot of stop losses there. That's a classic hunt. And then we've got this engulf that then gives us the follow-through we require. And then let's hope now it goes to the 187. Wow.
And look, technically speaking, the engulfing pattern's already played out. I mean, if you took that engulfing pattern as it stands, I mean, it's generally the length is the first target is the length for the pattern. That's just about there already. But realistically, yeah, you could easily see it getting to the 187. That yellow line is a very, very solid level. You'd think that if it's going to short, it would be a very, very aggressive trend for it to be shooting up from here without coming back and testing that 187. I would have thought.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on that one. Let's move over to a few others. So we've got the old sneaky New Zealand. Let's have a look at this. Wow. So it just never... Oh my goodness. All of a sudden, look at this. Look at this turnaround here on the weeklies, Ty. So we've been following this front for quite some time. Been really looking for the short side, and it's just not giving it to us. And now it's looking like a full reversal as well. So everything here is actually... I would be going with weak dollar based on a lot of these setups. Yeah. Won't go into this New Zealand too much unless you want to.
No, that's what I think. It speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? Like you've got look at that far out. This is
that pound.
It caught my eye the minute you moved to it. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but that's look at that. Oh, look at that morning star candle. Goodness.
Yeah, this is the one we talked about last week. Yeah. So do we still like the pound yen in the long side here? We've got long leg doji. We don't have, of course, the confirmation above it. We had a long leg doji here. We got that confirmation below. Wow, that's actually probably not enough. I would have liked more to get the short in. But now if it does get long, gets past this 153.50 tie, what are our thoughts about the beast, the pound yen? Do you like it if it gets past here to the long?
Yeah.
Based on what we're seeing on the weekly?
Yeah, 156 would be a formality if it gets past there and closes on that. No, there's no worries about that. But I think, for mine, and I think we're in an environment where the market's going to be, you're going to see the VIX rise very, very shortly, right? I don't know whether it's going to be today or whether it's going to be next week, but you're going to see a big spike in the VIX. And when you know that's coming, you want to keep your trades relatively short. I don't think you need to be setting month positions here. You want to be going for those. Like that trade was an entry point the minute that morning star confirmed. And you take profit at hit, really. I mean, that 153.40 area was where you were going to take profit, right? So that trade should already be done. And realistically, whatever it does from now is a new trade. You've got to look at it from a different perspective now. If it goes up there and closes above the 153.44, well, it's even stronger and it's going to 156. Yeah, no problems about that. So you got to treat it as a different trade. I always, err on the side of when you know that, you're going to be in a volatile market very, very shortly, you're better off keeping your trades really, really short because the markets can reverse very, very quickly. So when you lock in, a lot of smaller profits, if you like, at least when the market does eventually reverse, it's only going to take out one trade. And it doesn't mean it's going to take it out. You might be in your favor, right? Like it's 50-50 chance that it might actually be in your favor when it does start to move. But at least you've locked in a lot of profit on the way on really, really good setups. Like, we're talking about, setups that you're not just taking a chance here. These are pretty solid technical analysis setups that we talk about all the time. So when you see them, you got to take advantage of them, but you don't want to be too greedy. You don't want to be looking for really, really big moves and be stubborn on your levels. You want to be sort of looking at those short and sharp moves and say, well, if it does that, I'm going to be happy and I'll just re-enter if it continues. Yeah, it's kind of like scaling in, but you're actually locking in profit as you go, almost.
Yes, and scaling is one of the big concepts we want to get through to members of the community. Scale. And that's what I would say. I'm just having a look around some other currencies here, just taking a sticky beak. If anyone has one that they're looking at that they think's got a solid pattern on it, share with us now. And we'll move on to gold and silver tie. We'll use actually a different gold code because I don't like that other one. gives you too many fake spikes. So let's take a look here at gold. Now, with the, I guess you would say, weakness in the dollar, but also kind of like all over the place, we've got here some interesting stuff going on with gold. Gold went up. We had a great trade. It went up.
Hit our target. This is exactly my point. Last week we talked about the target of 1830. Went straight there. It literally got there the next day. I think it did it the next day after the webinar.
Yeah.
That's you take profit. Yeah, like that was the zone we isolated. Could it go to 1900? Probably. But they're going to do it in one trade? Probably not. I mean, one of those things, you want to take those whenever there's a really solid resistance and you know you got volatility, you want to take those short and sharps. Now, is it going to give you another opportunity to get in? Probably. And the next touch of that 1830 is probably going to be a strong one because you're going to get even more, momentum kicking up.
Totally agree.
But the thing is that you should already be out of it. You should have already taken that trade, right?
Yeah, or at least you should be. You probably should be at least 2/3 scaled out if you have even a longer plan, or at least 1/3. If you weren't taking something off there, wowzers.
How annoyed would you be if you didn't take there and you had your profit set at 1850 and you were going to be, damn, that's what I'm going to take. You'd be sitting here thinking, well, far out, man.
Yeah.
That's what I would be anyway. I'd be like, damn, I'm annoyed.
You'd be calling me on the phone. You'd be like, saying gold sucks. but
somehow I'd make it your fault. I'd make it your fault.
I was going to say, yeah, that's right. Let's have a look here at the level though, Ty. So it's come back to the role reversal. Now, we never catch the falling knife. When it comes off like this hard, even if it's coming into a 1, 2, 3, which we talk about a lot, I don't like that. I don't want to catch that falling knife. Neither does Tyrone. I don't want to have a hole in my hand. So the idea is now we wait for the accumulation, and we're certainly seeing that come through here on gold. I like this 1816 zone, Ty. I think this is, when we look at silver, you're probably going to like silver a lot more, I think. But yeah, this is definitely ramping up here. It's historically a good time of year for gold to have a little bit of a run. I would like it past like 1816. What time frame do we need the close confirmation on? Ooh, that's going to be... It's going to be tough, but 8 hour clearly is one that you're looking at here. You haven't even seen the 8 hour spike through before. So that's going to be something I'm looking at. 4 hour, 8 hour. What are your thoughts?
I think I do like it. Yeah, I do like it. I think it's presenting some pretty good opportunities. And I think that, look, it's an interesting time. I think that this week's going to have the fireworks on NFP. I reckon NFP is going to be the fireworks. It could be the catalyst this week.
Yeah, I would say NFP starts bigger trades. Let's have a look at silver because it's already firing here. I've got silver in a dead set flag, Ty, and I ranted about this, and I actually really like it. So there's a whole bunch of things playing out here. I'll just quickly go through them. So first up, we got that move up. If you take that move up just from the bottom here, it'll actually proof to there. Obviously, if you take it from the break, it'll proof to the top, to the 200. Now, both of those make a lot of sense. I like the price action, the way that it's kind of flagged through here. I specifically think that this is a pretty damn solid trade as it's confirming. I feel like it's already scaling in and Wall Street's already trying to get into it. You never can be 100% sure on anything. Of course, this is technical analysis. You're basically playing the stats, but there's a lot to like about silver. It's also well underpriced when compared to the gold sell-off. If you take the percentages in some ways, this thing got brutalized. It really did. So what do you think about this one based on those timeframes I've just shown you?
Yeah, I like it a lot. And I think that I love it when they proof themselves. When the level that you're after is going to a level that it could get to quite easily without a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. I think it makes the trade so much better. And, take out one candle out of that pattern and, even if you look at, if you blow that one up, say on the daily there, blow that up again.
Which
if you
one?
could. Zoom this one out again. So the candle I mean, if you, you look at that and you think to yourself, well, they're candles. I mean, that's a bullish harami that started it. It's, so it's pretty good.
That's true.
I like it.
That's true. Yeah, I know there's a lot in its way. Like you could say, but high, we've hit this trend line that I've drawn here that's getting through. I feel like this is the beginning of, this is the type of pattern that Tyrone and I look for. It's a coil before the key resistance. And as that's breaking out, it tends to obliterate those prices. Now, this is just playing the stats that we've seen over time. Again, we've seen these setups thousands of times over the years. So It's just, would we like it lots and lots of times over? Yeah. And as I said the other day, like when we were analyzing Barber and we found a pretty good support, would I not? Did I know the CCP was going to get involved in the stock? Not really. I mean, do I take the fair risk management every time? Absolutely. And therefore, you always consider the same types of things, because guess what? The same setup we saw on Barber actually played out on that gold trade last week, Ty, where we had that series of lower highs and then we broke through it, and then we saw that explosive move to the 1830s. So I like silver. I think it's looking cool, and hopefully it continues to do the business. All right, let's move over now to the other markets. Let's get into.
Can I ask? I've got Xander's asked a question about the Aussie, and I'll probably want to answer it because I know people do ask and wonder this. He says that how much impact do you think the iron ore price has on the Aussie USD, if any? Okay, so look, it's a really good question, and look, to be honest, I don't even know if we're qualified enough to probably determine how much it actually impacts it. I don't know if I think we're more guessing than anything else. It's almost like saying how much the oil price affects the US dollar CAD. Sometimes it affects it a lot, and they're moving basically in perfect inverse correlation or correlated perfectly. And sometimes it just doesn't give a damn. And so it's kind of hard to read. I know it doesn't really answer your question, but I kind of ignore that because it's so hard. It's just so hard to get them to line up. And then when they do line up, by the time you've actually realized it, that's when it actually, kicks off again and doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So to me, sometimes it's better just ignoring that. Sometimes you want to take the noise out. If you do too much analysis, it turns into that analysis paralysis where you just can't make a decision because not everything's agreeing. So, and look, and I'm not saying it doesn't affect it. It does, but I don't know how much it affects it, and I've given up trying to work out exactly how it affects it. I suppose if that's what I'm probably trying to say. Hopefully that makes sense, Xander. So it may. I think sometimes it affects it more than others, but for the most part, I kind of ignore it because if you do that, you miss a lot of good technicals. If you're sort of relying on the iron ore price, and I think that's important. It's the same with CAD. And oil. Sometimes you miss on some really, really good technicals because you're worried about oil or you're waiting for oil to do something before you trade it. And sometimes you just miss the boat. And I hate missing the boat.
I agree with you. There's analysis paralysis is a real thing. We talk about actionable data. The secret is cutting out the crap and being able to actually analyze exactly the data that actually makes sense and is easy to understand, and then analyzing the long term. If you're in a 4-hour chart or even a daily, and you're talking about iron ore shipping prices and iron ore costs and iron ore, trade balances and stuff, then you're not doing it.
You're doing. You're completely
investing
in the wrong time frame.
Yeah. Then if
you're looking at a weekly chart, weekly chart and or big monthly patterns, that sort of thing, yes, absolutely, that's a different story altogether. But for the sort of trading that we're doing and the trading that we're talking about in a webinar, the prices that we're or the movements that we're looking for. Couldn't care less what iron ore is doing or oil is doing and that. So hopefully that makes sense, Dan. Hopefully that kind of explains it. It makes sense to me in my head. Hopefully that's fine.
All right. Just quickly to the chat. I can't fix Ty right now. I'll have a look at it again. Maybe we'll change the system. But
I've been given some advice on. Someone's given me some advice.
I can't do that right now. It's you'll have to fix the gain. It's not worth it. We'll just do it next time. Okay. I understand, Gareth. We'll try fixing it next time for you guys. So here we've got the resistance and 4430. This is S&P 500. I've trapinated it, Ty. I call it a trapinate, and that is not a technical term, but you know what? This thing looks like it's trapinated between two key levels, and if we breach either way, I'm feeling pretty good. I actually prefer the short side here, just from the perspective of that would be better for me. If it happens. So, well, you just changed the sound. So, then, yeah, that would be the real zone that I'd be going with.
Yeah. I took Gareth's advice and I turned off automatic gain control. See what happens.
Oh, that's really bad sound quality.
Oh, really? I turned off automatic gain control. That's why.
It's horrible. I'm
okay. Automatic gain control coming back.
Oh yeah, that was terrifying. That scared me a lot, actually.
We can't have you getting scared. Jesus.
No. Turn that off immediately.
Okay, there you go. Automatic gain
Oh
control.
my God,
back
thank
on.
God you're back. Well, for me anyway, whatever you guys heard, I don't know if you heard that. That sounded like something, something coming out of one of those Blair Witch projects. Was that better for you guys? It was shocking for me. All right, so resistance over here, 44.30. I like the 43.70 as well from the support side. If this gets underneath this zone tie, we get through a daily 20, which is on the SPX as well, not just the fake market futures. That then points directly to me going to the 50 exponential moving average, because it's done that every single time. And then if we ever do get under this 42.50, which I can tell you there's a lot of puts here and a lot of randomness, this will be where the bears fully get control and really pump the market down. But the corrections here are, to me, close under here, move to here. If we get under here, move to here. These are all great levels, I believe. And then underneath that, well, okay, we'll have to look at some serious levels.
We've got some very, very nice bear spreads sold on this and the ASX 200, and we've got no intention of rolling them. I'll give you the tip.
But just so you guys know, like, I've had a lot of feedback, and I just need guys to understand, people are trying to trade 1 and 2 day options, Ty. That is not what we do. I mean, there is a time and a place for that, but you're really gambling on it having to work out perfectly. Ty and I, call us boring if you want to, but we work on the the minimum kind of 1 month, usually, to multiple months, 1 to 3 month kind of options. The reason why is that we find that it works out. Our plan works out. Yeah.
When you start talking about, and you got to understand too, like, we're not selling, $1 and $2 options. Like, we've got some pretty serious positions in. So, because we're doing them for clients, right? So we have to take the longer view, and it may not be very, very long, but we're not going to be trading an option today that's going to close out tomorrow, right? That's not what we're about. Our shortest dated options at the moment are September closes on the big indices. So that's how far we're at, and they've been in for a couple of weeks. So it's not like we've even just put them in. So that's the sort of time frame that we're looking at. But don't worry, in the options course, you're going to see a time and a place to do the little short dated ones. I've got little special things in there for you. Thomas is going to love bringing him into the seasonals that he's talking about. Oh, yeah. You're going to love it. And I know I'm teasing you. I know I keep teasing you, and everyone's like, "When's it coming? When's it coming?"
It
don't
ain't
worry,
easy to get it through.
It's coming.
It takes time.
It's coming. But when it comes, it'll be worth it, because I'm telling you, once you've done the Ultimate Trading Masterclass and you've done the advanced options trading course, you will know everything that Thomas and I know. So in terms of actual knowledge, then there's it's got everything that we do in it. So it's coming, but there are a time and a place for very short dated options. And when you're taking a longer term view, like, you can't be trying to pick a top, a week out, because it's just too hard. Timing is just too hard, and you end up putting in a lot of positions and giving away, a lot of premium, really. Waiting for it to fall, and then what's going to happen. The minute you give up on it, that's when the big fall comes. So give it time. We are boring. You're right, 100%. We are absolutely boring. And if you want to know how boring, turn up the cans for our conference, and you'll see exactly how boring we really are, especially when we go to the casino.
Only if we win. That's the best time. Otherwise, you got to run away from those places, guys. You got to be very careful. Now, we'll go here, resistances. So we've got the trend line coming through for the QQQ tie. I really like this theory. And the theory is, I'm actually thinking Nasdaq's going to be the weakest. I love the 352 level for where the bears get control. And this is my big brain concept at the moment. You see what you think about this. We got the weekly here. Well, we've already discussed it before. We got the weekly here, though. And I actually went and had a little bit of a squiz, and I could see that there was a lot of puts right here on the 320 for the QQQ Nasdaq. Now, we haven't hit a weekly 50 ever since we started rallying. It makes sense. We've gone from a pandemic, a recession, to a massive amount of money print and everything else. So I've actually got a deeper plan here if it does come through. And as you call it shot in the dark, you call it whatever you want to, but there's actually a case that I'm making where if we get underneath this level here, Ty, that while I know there's resistances and supports around this level, and we'll be watching that, could you see the 320? I mean, this is totally random. It's not really even to do with this week, but could you see that?
Oh yeah, of course. Look, I'll tell you what. Here's the thing, right? And people are panicking now. The minute there's a 0.5% drop, oh my god, it's coming. Oh my god, it's coming. Yeah, that tells you that the market is about to drop. What it is going to do, it's going to shake all of the fear out. What's happening at the market? So, and it's everybody's guilty of it. They're very, very fearful that the pullback is going to happen, and it will not happen until everybody's given up, and it's going to happen. Right, and that's what happens.
That's starting to happen, though.
Does.
That is starting to happen. People are literally getting conditioned. I want to know from the community right now, actually. Let's ask, have you guys started thinking recently that there isn't going to be a pullback because of the action that you're seeing? Are you, just be honest, are you being more scared or less scared than you were a few months ago?
Yeah, let us know. Because I can guarantee you that everybody is very, very fearful that the market is going to fall. And every single time you see a little bit of red, I mean, come on, it drops 0.3%. Everyone's talking about the big crash coming. It's like, that's nothing. That's just the average movement. You'll know when it's coming. And the problem is, most of the people, when it does come, will think that it's not going to. That's the problem. Like, people will think that it's never going to come, and all right, it's not going to happen. And it'll happen. You know why? Because it has to. Because the market's been doing it for 200 years, and it's not going to stop in 2021. I'll give you the tip.
One Up says what I'm saying here, Ty. One Up says, chats have been seeming a lot more bullish on tech the last week. I would totally agree with you. It shows here. If you have... So I'm noticing some similarities here with January. We're not seeing those ridiculous stocks that were just like blowing out, 300% and 1,000% in a week. But what we are seeing, Tyrone, is a big move towards big stocks. And I'm not talking small stocks. AMD, Tesla starting to bull through here. We've got discussions on Corsair. We've got a lot of stocks, big ones, Moderna. Wowzers. I want to show you mRNA, Ty. I want to show you this because we don't really trade this one other than healthcare overall and take healthcare overall. But look at this rally. Look at this rally, and let's put it in perspective of the weekly. So this thing in 2019 or January 2020 was worth $18. It's now $400. And it's been on a look at that. This is a serious stock now. This thing's worth $155 billion. It's gone from a very small amount to a very big amount, and that's a blow off top waiting to happen. When? Don't know, but it will be.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And look, here's the thing, and it is true, and I see a few people saying it in the room too. You absolutely should not be scared of a pullback. In fact, you should be welcoming it. I'm always surprised that people are so scared of a pullback because pullbacks are healthy. Pullbacks give you an opportunity to buy stocks that you're interested in at better levels. They give you a chance for the market to rebound. You can get back in if you've missed an opportunity. People should welcome a pullback. What people should be scared of is not the fact that the market's not pulling back. The people should be scared of something like this, where it's because when it goes up that hard, it generally comes down quicker. So that's what you should be scared of. A market that's going up and pulling back, appropriately, like as it should, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or even not as aggressive as that. That's a healthy market, and healthy markets are easier to trade. Believe me when I say healthy markets are a lot easier to trade than out of control markets. So bring on the pullback. I say welcome pullback. We'll make money on the way down, and then we'll make even more money on the way up. Yeah.
Well, if you're thinking exactly, and if you're thinking long term, we're not saying that the market's over. We in fact have a bullish view here for multiple years. In fact, my view is into 2026, quite bullish. I've got no real concerns, even though there's, except for the one that I can't mention here on YouTube that you guys know what it is. I don't really have long-term concerns here for that next couple of years. And that's just because although there are concerns everywhere, and you would say flashing alarm bells all over the place, and you could argue with me all day about it, it's like a housing market in Australia, Ty. It's in many ways the support's there. They've broken the system, and you can't undo it right now. Why would you? It's not. You just have to keep pushing in with that idea, and that idea can scale now.
100%.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. So people, if you are worried, look, if you're worried about the market pulling back, if you're really, really concerned, then you're probably either one, over leveraged, or two, overexposed to the upside. So you probably want to be managing your positions. Because anyone who's managing their positions properly and has got the right risk management, you shouldn't be worried at all. It's just because what you're going to do, you worry yourself out of positions or out of trades, and you don't want to be doing that. Goodness.
That's right. This is the time where people should be very scared of the leverage component, not scared necessarily of the market component, and planning in concepts. So this is actually some of my thesis points or concept points anyway for weakness here, Ty. So we've got the 10-year, which we'll take a look at in a minute, but we've got resistance breach. Look at this, wick rejection, wick rejection, wick rejection. It's very similar to the Zoom trade, which worked out perfect, by the way. Remember that one we looked at? And this shows weakness. Then yesterday you get this random rally. And then now today we're down 0.42% in the morning. We close underneath this zone. Considering everything that's happened here, how likely are we to go back down to the 208?
Yeah, it's looking it's looking weak, isn't it? I mean, I know I'm not look, I think the Russell 2000 is really important. I think it's really, really important.
Really important.
Probably not. Probably I don't know if people give it as much. I know it's not the most. It's not the. Yeah, it's kind of like the ugly cousin, and it even looks ugly. Like the candles are all spasmodic.
Oh, it's a mad rattlesnake.
It looks like it even looks ugly on a chart. Yeah, it looks ugly on a chart. But don't take away its effect on the overall picture. That's the bigger picture stuff does start from here. You know, like it's really, really important in that regard. And the move will start from this one. The weakness will happen here first.
All right, let's bring on a few trades here because, or the US 10-year firstly, this is the 10-year. As the 10-year goes down, I don't think it's healthy for the 10-year to be down here, Ty. This is saying that interest rates are going to be at 1.18. A few months ago, everyone was talking about inflation. I would say Tyron and I were very spot on here by saying that inflation was unlikely to occur. And we take a lot of learnings from Japan. We take a lot of learnings from the GFC and monetary policy already in. Michael Burry, unfortunately, is getting destroyed. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, whatever you want to say, getting destroyed by it. But you know what? I also don't like seeing the US 10-year coming back down to this level. I think that this could even be a catalyst in itself, Ty. You know, we get back down. Let's say this continues its downtrend here. We get back to 103. I don't think the market's going to like that. It's not good for financials, but I think it's unhealthy.
Yeah. It's starting to get a little bit worrying, for sure.
Well, we see this rally and then we see the decline that happened, but if we think about it, is this like look at this. You know, we start in April because I'm always just following exactly what happened during the global financial crisis. I just follow it. Why not? It works pretty damn well right now. We see March and we see that April period. Over here, remember, same time frame, March, April period, we start to see that drop off and it actually goes back really far. So into the September 10 kind of area. So maybe even you could go back over and say, okay, well, what happened over this period to the stock market? What did we see occur? And, you know, when you go back over it, did we have any pullbacks that occurred over that period? So we have here a bit of weakness, a bit of strength, and then we have a dump that occurs later on in the year. What I'm thinking is that we could have a very close dump just based on people suddenly being fearful about the 10-year being back down this level. And I certainly think that's worthwhile considering. All right, let's go through these stocks. I'll bring them up. So this question was in the analysis help question in the private room. And there were questions about Snow, which has been a very good stock for us. Been loving the Snow. Great move on it yesterday. And specifically around the daily chart. And then also UPST. So Ty and I love this specific type of trade. So what basically happened here is we have rejection, 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 and then we have a long leg doji followed by bullish movement here. Now people often say, well, how come this didn't work out for us? Well, we like to wait for the close here. And what this is saying is, okay, we want a short, We're actually unsure about shorting, but we never get the proper follow through on both of these. Do I like shorting it here? I wouldn't short this type of stock because the payoff is not that great. The payoffs here plus shorting stock is incredibly hard when you go against buying it. But once it closed or got above here on the smaller time frames, what this did was it triggered a massive buy rally. And this is basically taking out stop losses that are all over these levels. There's little stop losses there. There's little stop losses here. There's little stop losses here. I love these types of rallies, Ty. Being able to understand price action and know that when it gets past these levels, the rally is on and smashing everyone's stops. I'm a big fan of it. And it happened really quick. I actually watched it during the live stream yesterday and I was like, oh my goodness, this thing's running. What do you think?
That was a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a dead set trap.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty trap. And your warning blinkers should have been on as soon as you see the close of this. If you're in it short here or short here for whatever reason, as soon as you see that long leg doji near the close, I actually would have cut it up. Every time I'd cut it up and I'd wait for more information. And you know what? You wouldn't be down that much. But if you waited till the next day, you got slaughtered.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that was a trap. Yeah, there was no question about that.
We also have a very similar style trap that occurred on UPST and different stocks. This person mentions, can you explain why it's different stocks yet same reaction? Well, it's the exact same type of trap. It's the exact same type of trap. The only difference here on this one is that I don't like it as much from a trade perspective because the other one's breaching a resistance that's very key. This one's kind of still in a zone, and then what's your best case scenario where it went to? It went excess, but all day long you would have been taking it off here. I would have never got that
I had
price.
to.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have gone longer. No. That was very different when the candle's actually breaking resistance rather than going into it.
Mm-hmm. And this also around the 20 and the 50 exponential on the daily as well, Ty. So this one had no follow through. The other one had follow through, but the short side is always very hard in stock. Remember, guys. And then we get that. I think this is way too hard to trade compared to the snow. But yeah, there was no follow through, so you shouldn't have been in this trade anyway to the short yet. Wait for that follow through, like we did on Zoom. I'll show you Zoom. There's the follow through. This candle here. So we have rejection, rejection, rejection on itself, not good enough. Follow through, bam. We look to buy. You could say, oh, I'm scared, but you know what? Your stop loss has to be under here. And your take profit was always going to be looking for the 400. And what Ty and I like to do is take off around 80 to 90% of what we expect. So around here is where we would have got out on this one. So this is a very good trade. I like that. I do it every time.
Yep. No, very good trade. Like it.
All right, let's go over to some questions here that are coming through. We've got Jay Nibble coming in saying, seems fishy that some popular stocks, i.e. Tesla, AMD, FANG, have or currently been breaking out while others begin to be on warning signs of the broader correction. That's correct, Jay Nibble. It's pretty much what happened every time you see Wall Street will give up a few. So people are mentioning, oh, well, they paid out massive on options on AMD. Sure, but they stole on Microsoft, Apple. They took it on Snow. They took it on Tesla. They took so much great profit on options across the board. They can allow one through to the keeper, yeah? And then we've got huge amounts of interest in those. I mean, we saw it in the hype equity. So I agree with you. If we're hitting a few very particular stocks and it's being allowed to run while others are weakening, you know, we've seen the weakness come into the banks here. You know, JP Morgan's still live. What do you think about this one, Ty? Still very live, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Love it. Can't wait. Can't wait for that blue line, that neon blue line to be broken.
Yeah, that'd be so good. So yeah, that's a question.
And it's gonna happen. We all know it's gonna happen in this room, right? This is not financial advice. This is just education. But that is the head and shoulders. That is the head and shoulders that's going to break, and that's going to break, and it's going to play that pattern out. And in a couple of months' time, we're going to be all wondering why didn't we short it harder.
Graham says, markets always return to mean equals fair price. Market is by nature full of reversals. It's like football players. They are worth what the market is willing to pay for them. Yes, or afterpay if Jack Dorsey is willing to pay you $40 billion. Why not? Because he forgot to get a coder on it a few years ago.
God save us. Talk about paying for an oversight.
Everyone's talking about that, Ty. I had people call me today. They're like, what about that afterpay? I'm like, yeah. I said, those guys, literal gods.
My wife brought up a point. we had a heated debate about it actually because I told her she was wrong, but apparently she was right. And she said, and I didn't believe it. But do you know that a company that just got sold for what 39 billion? I don't even know if that's US. Is that US or Australia?
No, 39 billion odd, 29 billion US. Yeah.
Yeah. So that company, believe it or not, has still not actually posted a profit.
Yeah, of course.
And I did not know that. I would have thought, because I read an article saying they've got 460 million in the bank, everything's happy days. And then I read the article that she pointed out, and yeah, they have not posted a profit.
Yeah,
yet.
It's based on like 46 times price to sales. So that's price to sales, not PE. that's revenue.
Yeah. So actually, you know, my wife actually, Graham just mentioned they are neighbors. Those guys, the Afterpay guys. It's actually funny, you know, because my wife thinks that Thomas and I we're the poor version of the two guys who started Afterpay because I'm older than Thomas. We're the only difference is we're $39 billion less rich than they are. But they are. But you know what? They are really nice guys, and they deserve. They've done a really good job. They deserve it.
Oh, look, they've done amazing scale, Ty. You know, we've talked about scale over the years, and some people that we know that have scaled hard, and I've never heard someone scale that hard. Not in Australia anyway. I mean, Canva's scaling well. I got to say, she's scaling very well.
She's done an awesome job. I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah, it's good to finally see some tech coming out of Australia. I think Canva's exciting to me. Like if they let me have it. There's some other good ones though. There's some Robinhood style startups here in Australia as well that are coming through. A lot of disruption. I love disruption.
Jay Nibble, he says famous last words to my wife. You are wrong. True. Like that head and shoulder pattern about to crack. Hey, I'm going to say one thing, and I'm going to say this. I have to. I did about 4 hours ago received the first Pfizer shot. So anything that I say has to be taken into the context that I could be affected by a drug that I've got no idea what it's going to do to me. So you know, if it doesn't work out, I'm blaming Pfizer.
So what, you're going to go write it up? Oh, I lost this much money on this trade because of your shot. that's the way it works.
My shot. It's because of Pfizer and that affects evolution YouTube guy.
Jeez. Don't worry, that's already begun. I already have one of those ones. Don't you know, Ty? You were a very lucky man, remember? Well, when you get to talk to me every day, supposedly someone said that to Ty. He did not lie. That's right. All right. So anyway, look, we're getting sidetracked here, but I think the problem is for us is that we're in a market that's clearly neutral. You know, you look at anything, you look at the New York composite here. Let's bring that up. Comp, which I did in today's vid as well, and we bring this up here. This is a very neutralized style pattern zone. In fact, it showed weakness the previous day. Of course, didn't follow through with the closure below. Now, if it did, wowzers, it would have been on. So this is also showing a little bit of neutrality towards the market. And when we're neutral at the market, or we're not going into a statistical great time of year or anything, Ty and I tend to de-leverage, de-risk a little bit, set up, and just have a plan. Because if it doesn't work, oh well, maybe we've spent a couple of % protecting ourselves. But at the same time, if it does work out, which statistically it does, then we've got the plan and we know what we're doing. So I think at this time of year, you want to know what performs well, what are you looking at? If there is a dip, do you have a plan around it? And that's the type of thing that we always say you should be educated in that kind of concept.
Absolutely. The last two things we're going to look at, because we've had a couple of requests for them,
Sure.
Three things actually. We're going to look at lithium, uranium, and we're going to have a quick look at RRL for Xander because...
What is this uranium stuff? Everyone loves uranium at the moment.
I know, everyone loves it, so let's have a look at it. And we'll look at lithium as well. And Xander's just got such a cool name that
I don't really... I mean, I actually don't have the charts. Do you have the charts for uranium price or anything like that? I don't have that.
What is the code? Does someone have the code for uranium?
I don't trade uranium.
Let's go to lithium then. If someone could post a code for uranium.
So, I mean, lithium is, to me, is like cheap sand. I mean, I always think of it as there is actually a lot of it, but it's costly and it's just not something that I've ever bought into that much. I know it's been very, very popular because of course EV, But yeah, if you have the codes for it, feel free to send them through. I don't personally look at those if there is like a commodity code for it. CCJ,
let's have a look at,
oh, you just want to look at a stock, yeah? Because I was thinking mostly it's going to be stocks. So is this a uranium stock or what is this?
Is it an okay uranium stock according to Sander?
My mining stocks consist of coppers, iron ores, and steel. Okay, that's all I know, guys. I know the coppers and iron, and then of course you've got the golds.
Dave says it's ETF URA.
URA, okay. Let's have a look here. Global uranium ETF. Ugh. You know, all of these materials are actually dropping off a bit here, and that's often what does happen as well before a correction, doesn't it, Ty? You see that rollover, a little bit of, you see a rollover in the small stocks, you see a rollover in yields, you can also see a mixture of buying into bonds, and the materials drop a little bit, don't they? I don't know if I even like this chart. I mean, I would be thinking weakness here.
Yeah, I'm seeing weakness here. Oh, goodness. It could be like a really, really ugly head and shoulders at some point. Could be. It could be.
Yeah. I think this is more weakness than strength here.
Yeah.
When we're looking at
I
this
don't
chart.
see strength. I don't look at that and see strength.
I mean, you want to go consult Dr. Copper about weakness and strength. Dr. Copper looks hideous. I mean, this is obviously on this week. I think a lot comes down to the non-farms, and that's where we're going to see true direction. You know, come Friday, come non-farms, even the prelim non-farms figures tonight, which if you're not aware of, during the US day, we've got ADP non-farm employment change, the first number, 8:15. So that'll be very, very soon, Ty. In fact, I can probably refresh that and we'll go green. And then we've got, after that, we have ISM services PMI, and then we'll be live streaming non-farm employment change. You want to join me on that one? What do you think? You want to do that? Tonight. Or are you doing tonight? Oh, no, tonight. No, Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do non-farms. Yeah, we'll go a bit earlier.
I had my Pfizer shot, Thomas.
No, I'm letting you. Don't worry, you're free. Well, maybe that's why when you were on the stream, Ty might say some random stuff.
Friday, for sure.
You'll be like, oh, the JP Morgan Head and Shoulders definitely working out. Oh my goodness.
Let's do non-farm payrolls. I want to do non-farm payrolls.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. Let's have a look at ALB as well for the lithium side. See how that's looking. So that looks a lot better from a strength standpoint.
Yeah.
But it's already rallying. We've obviously looked at this stock before. Someone's asked me about it during a live stream. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that trend line. I like my trend line. I like my resistance. I like the breakout. I like the trade. So well done if you took that. Where does it go from now? Who knows? It's in uncharted territory. So usually you would just fib retrace it and go with those levels.
I wouldn't mind waiting. If I was looking for an entry point on this one, I'd be waiting for that pullback to that initial break. And if the 20 catches up by then too, that'd be awesome. Like if that 20 moving, if it pulls back and the 20 moving average catches up,
comes up. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be a great reload zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So look, all signs. I mean, if we're looking at commodities, Dr. Copper's sad. We've got strong bonds, which is seasonal as well. We've got weird 10-year. We've got IWM, the Russell looking bad. We've got neutralized market across all of the market. And we have a trapped S&P 500. I mean, it all just leads back to the S&P 500. And to me, the key levels that we've pointed out tonight, I mean, this is where we're at. We're in little trap zone, trapinated. And then if we close underneath here, Ty, I think the 50.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
It's good.
All right. Anything else, Ty, that you want to mention?
Yeah. Only one thing. Tomorrow's Q&A is going to be a little bit later. Because I've had a lot of requests to make it a little bit later. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trial starting it at 9 p.m. and leading into 10. So we're going to do it at 9 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. So, and it's also because it's non-farm payroll or pre-non-farm payroll day, it's open to the public. So there's 119 people watching now. I fully expect that I'm going to have 119 people watching the live Q&A tomorrow, which is going to be awesome. But it is going to be at 9 p.m. Okay, so 45 minutes later. And for all of you who are starting the mentoring program tomorrow, don't worry. The Pfizer has not affected me in a bad way, and you are in very, very good hands. Right, so don't worry about that at all. I'll send you all a link just for that anyway. You'll get a link tomorrow throughout the day. But yeah, tomorrow night's Q&A at 9 p.m. Okay, so basically an hour when this webinar started effectively. The link will be in Discord, in the public Discord. It's open to the public. So a non-farm payroll Q&A. So it should be pretty awesome.
I've got one other thing I wanted to mention actually, Ty. And, oh yeah, we'll get a schedule up as well. So we'll schedule in times for different time periods in the world. So you guys know when we produce our Monday data, Tuesday data, Wednesday data. Now, Monday and Tuesday, they won't have a schedule. But Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we generally do have, an approximate time things come out. So,
Wednesday, Thursday, and Wednesday and Thursday are absolutely dead on the dot. Friday is very close. The Tuesday market watch is generally around the same time, but only if there's a trade. I'd only put a trade up that I would take myself. And if I wouldn't, just like we did, I'll do it on Wednesday if we have to. That's the trade that I would be taking. So I like to explain it, in a solid 5 minute. Most of the time it's about a 5 minute video. I want to explain exactly what I'm saying. So although it's not at an exact time, it's pretty close. Usually around the London Open.
Yeah, that's right, around that London Open. Another thing, Eka brought this up. Well done, Eka. Just a little double bottom that's occurred on the TAN index here, or TAN ETF, which is solar, I believe, Invesco Solar ETF. It's a nice little breakout. You've got strong resistance, and you have really a longer term inverse here as well. So some interesting stuff even to the bull side here. If you're still feeling risk on kind of aspect, you can go check out some of those stocks. We saw Enphase really powering the other day as well. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you in around half an hour on the normal channel. If you haven't subscribed to this one, definitely do so. We're trying to get that 1,000 so we can set it all up for everyone and get all the new features, all the features that YouTube gives you when you get 1,000 members. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. This is where we post our content and obviously all our unlisted content for people in the private room. If you're not in the private room, get in the private room. Heaps of great stuff coming. And I even did a little share today as well, which I'll bring it on here. And it's just the best performing stocks over a 20-year period. And I'll start posting those just because it's cool to be able to check it out. I'll post those every month for you guys. So you have the best stocks during that month over a 20-year average. Cool.
Guys, just quickly too, I've been bashed by messages about the private mentoring. Look, don't worry, that the group that's starting tomorrow have been in the pipeline for a long time, and it's long overdue. They're running late. Don't worry, for all of you who want it. Thomas is going to be giving you all the information you need in the YouTube channels, and it will be in Discord as well. So don't worry, you haven't missed the boat or anything like that. We've got a big announcement coming mentoring-wise in the next couple of weeks. The first one is probably going to launch. We're probably estimating the first week of September, aren't we, Tom? It's probably going to be the first week of September, which is the main group. The people who are starting tomorrow, they're a different little group. They've been in the pipeline for a very long time. So the one that everyone is asking about, that's not the one that's starting tomorrow. Don't worry.
And let's just say, obviously, there's a whole bunch of great things in it, Ty, but I'll just give some people some topics here that I know are in it. Which one of them is that we use all the time. Seasonal data. We'll be sharing a whole bunch of stuff there. Actionable data generally that we use as a top-down kind of approach, and then obviously some of our signature kind of options plays into the TA itself. Remember, everything, this is number one, guys. Number one is the TA. All of this stuff helps create better opportunities. That's what it does. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, we'll be launching very soon, and we'll have more information, and I think it's awesome. It's going to be sweet.
It's going to be on the website and everything. You will not miss it. Don't worry.
It's not going to be well explained. Yeah. All right, guys. Oh, look at that silver. Yeah. All right. Catch you, everybody. Bye for now.
Thanks, everyone. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night and Friday, of course.